pay attention to the fact is the promise part of it was not anything implicit in that discussion. It was a solution to a problem in 1998. We're now looking at a problem 10 years later, almost to the month. And the fact of the matter is that we have a different set of problems, and we are now saying, well, we made a promise back then. One Board of Supervisors cannot make promises for the next Board of Supervisors. But I suggest that when you go out of here thinking, well, it wasn't that bad, keep in mind it could get much, much worse. And in that regard here, I think that to be fiscally conservative, to be fiscally responsible, we have to do more than what has been recommended. But I will defer for the next 6 months, the next year, whatever it takes, to the retirement board's recommendation. But I'm saying here that to say that we made a promise and so therefore we're stuck with it strikes me as being self-serving and in some ways here just fiscally irresponsible. I have to say this because in 1998 I saw 2 members of this board do something that was very responsible. I would like to see them both do it again in 2008.
Thank you, Supervisor Delbar.
Well, Mr. Chairman, without going into details to counteract my colleagues' statements, the commitment was made by the county long before the 1998 board was in place. Folks that had already retired had that commitment. And you and I may disagree, and it wouldn't be the first time, and I doubt it'd be the last, but I stand by my commitment that I believe was made long before I came on the board. And it's not self-serving whatsoever. It's simply serving the folks that serve this county. End of my discussion.
Okay, I'm going to ask for a vote on the button, and at this time, unless there's any further discussion, let's please place our votes. Okay, motion passes 3-2 with Supervisor Delbar and Wattenberger dissenting.
Can I make a final comment, Mr. Chairman?
Short comment, Supervisor Pinch.
You know, any benefit package and everything, my district, one of our largest employers, Branscombe Mill, shut down this summer. And over 200 employees, and a lot of them were guys and gals my age that had worked there for 25, 30 years. And when they left, they got their final paycheck. That was it. After 30 years of service, some of them, they never got nothing. I mean, they had promises, but the company went under. I mean, the timber industry is reeling, especially the Douglas fir industry. And, I have to weigh that in too. There has to be kind of a balance from the private sector too. So I always keep that in the back of my mind. I wish that I could be sitting here and being able to promise those 200 folks something, but I can't. So the integrity of our retirement and our health benefits is what we need to preserve, and that's what we've hopefully tried to do here today. And probably the way things are going, we're going to be sitting here next year with a whole different situation that may be a whole lot worse. We can all hope it's going to be better. But, this was kind of easy today. If things continue next year, it's going to be a whole lot worse. And so we need to kind of all work together and hopefully we can do a better job. Thank you.
Okay, we have 3 items of business left I'd like to get through before lunch. And let's take up regular item 7B, discussion possible.
Thank you all.
Okay.
Discussion possible action including approval of purchase fixed assets of 3 infrared cellular camera systems from the state CalMet grant and amend the official list of approved assets to reflect the new cameras. The sheriff is the sponsor. I don't see the sheriff here.
Norm Thurston's on.
Norm Thurston is here. Is that
He
correct?
This,
Moving along.
He was.
this.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
this is really
routine.
formality because
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's using asset forfeiture, which the sheriff has total control over, so I don't.
Could
see
I
where-
speak to that briefly?
Sure.
I think it wasn't put on consent because it's happening at the same time as the budget, but we were considering this a relatively routine matter, and so nobody was expected to be here unless you had
Yeah.
further questions. Okay.
Any concerns from board members in regards to this item? Or I'll just invite an action on this item.
So moved.
Okay?
Second.
Motion and a second to item 7B. Any discussion to the motion?
Aye.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes on 5-0 vote. Let's drop back to item 5-9, which is discussion on the final adoption of the budget, I believe. And I can't remember who pulled that item.
Supervisor Colfax pulled it.
Supervisor Kofax, would you like to lead us in your discussion, please?
Could we close the door and take conversations out of the room, please?
Thank you, Supervisor. It was somewhat distracting.